Let's talk about some miscellaneous items regarding reporting in VisualAnalysis. First, let's look at how we control the margins that are shown in a report. These are done by using the File menu option and selecting Page Selection. This dialog then allows me to set the orientation as portrait or landscape, and then set the margins on my paper. The other thing I might like to do is put my custom company logo in each report. Right now there's no logo shown. To do that, we go to the Tools ribbon, select Preferences, select Reports, and then there's an option here to select a customer logo JPEG or PNG file that I can insert for my logo. Let's talk about creating and saving styles, which are saved report types you can use later. Currently, I have a report with some result cases selected as well as some member forces. And I've picked certain result cases, so I've got it filtered down. In addition to, I have a name field for the letter column for the members, so I'm only showing columns. Let's suppose I like this particular report. If I go to the Reports tab in the Project Manager, I have the ability to save the active report. So if I type in a name like My Columns and say Save, I have an option to save it in the project, which means this style will be project specific only, or I can say Save Style and then every project can access this. Let's just set Save in Project, and when I do that, I have my columns now included in this list. Let's go back to the result view and quickly generate a double-click report and see it's gotten rid of my particular table that I had. And let's say I want it back. To do that, I'm going to go to the Modify tab and remove everything that's in my report so it's blank. Now if I go back to the Reports tab, we'll see my columns is there, and if I drag it onto the report, I'm going to get my special table back. So that's how you can create tables and use them down the road, either in other projects or in this project. Let's look at how we can save space. On this particular report, I'm going to remove and have just result case tables. And you can see that there's a lot of white space here. I'm going to also add a table to this. Let's say we want to look at our model or project settings. Let's do model settings, model summary. And that also has a lot of white space. If we click a particular table and look at the selected table's properties, we have the ability to change its page width. This is currently set to full. I'm going to switch it to 1/2, and notice it's got some space over here not used. I'm going to do the same for the model summary and set it to 1/2. And now my tables are side by side stacked. So I can stuff several tables side by side by selecting the page width, and the report will automatically get formatted so that we'll try to eliminate white space. Let's look at how we can add some graphics to our existing reports. Let's suppose I want to have a picture of my model view. In addition, maybe I want to add some text to the model view that'll show up. I'm going to use a sticky note. And to do that, I'm going to select this node, right mouse button, and select Sticky Notes Connected and make it a connected sticky note. And I'm just going to put a note here like My Node and select that. Now I've got a label. So I've got a report with some labels. I have graphics with some labels, and I would like to insert that in my report. To do that, I simply go to the Home key, select the copy in the ribbon. Now if I go to my report view and select Paste, when I do that, we'll see that that graphics has been inserted into the report. If I select it, I can control its width. Let's suppose I only want it to occupy 1/2, and when I do that, it gets inserted. So that's a quick way then that we can add graphics to an existing report. You can use sticky notes and add more text to that graphics if you'd like. Let's look at how we can change the way we're viewing our report in the report view. Currently, I am setting in the page width mode, which means I'm going to fit the full width of the screen with my report, and as I scroll, then I can move up and down from page to page. Let's suppose I'd like to see more on my screen. I can do that by controlling multiple pages by how many I want, and let's suppose I want to do 2 by 1. I can select that. Now I'm seeing 2 full pages, and I can go even greater amounts than that and select as many as I'd like. So I have a lot of control then on how many pages that I'm going to see at one time on my report. In addition, I can turn on thumbnails. If I hit the thumbnail viewer, I get a set of thumbnails down on the right side here that I can select and scroll through my report in that way. The final thing I want to talk about is, let's suppose I want to search for something in my report. Let's suppose I'd like to search on the first occurrence of, say, COL for columns. If I hit the Find control, down in the lower left-hand part of the corner, I can type in a find string. And if I find what, I can find columns, and you'll see it has selected all of the occurrences of column in my report. So the find tool can be very useful.